From a virgin on a sandwich to Britney Spears' pregnancy test, I'm Bob from World 5 List. Join me as I discuss 9 of the craziest things that were ever sold on eBay. Number 9. Virgin Mary on a sandwich. Now, you probably think that I'm kidding, but in November of 2004, someone actually purchased the Virgin Mary on a sandwich, a grilled cheese sandwich to be exact. As it turns out, the Virgin Mary's face was burnt into the bread, and it sold for a staggering $28,000. According to the woman who listed the alleged relic, the sandwich was a decade old at the time of sale and had never sprung a morsel of mold. The oddly well-preserved and supposedly miraculous grilled cheese had a single bite taken out of it. eBay initially pulled the holy grilled cheese from its listing because they assumed it was posted as a joke. However, the ad would soon be restored when the seller made it clear that she was serious. But wait, there's more, and it's weird. You're probably picturing the proud owner of the sandwich as some unusually wealthy religious fanatic, right? Well, not exactly. The winning bidder was an online casino by the name of goldenpalace.com. Executives of the company had previously stated that they were willing to spend, quote, whatever it took to get their hands on it. But why? Well, according to spokesman Monty Kerr, it's an immediately recognizable piece of pop culture. On the other hand, the seller of the sandwich, a jewelry maker named Diana, felt a whole lot differently. She stated shortly after the sale that she truly felt the Virgin Mary was emblazoned into the sandwich, indicating that she saw it as more than a lucrative piece of contemporary memorabilia. Maybe this was the inspiration for the Glee episode of the Grilled Cheeses. Number 8. A cemetery crypt above Marilyn Monroe's tomb. Beverly Hills widow Elsie Poncher decided she wanted to pay off her $1.6 million mortgage in order to avoid burdening her children when she passed away. Then, in 2009, the 80-year-old would list her husband's cemetery plot on eBay in order to raise the necessary funds. You see, it wasn't any kind of ordinary crypt. Mrs. Poncher's late husband, Richard, was laid to rest directly above Marilyn Monroe. In fact, he was even buried face down so that he was looking at her. How romantic. Richard had purchased the tomb decades prior from Joe DiMaggio when he divorced from the blonde bombshell, and as Richard laid on his deathbed, he cautioned his wife against burying him anywhere else, threatening to haunt her if she did. For 23 years, Elsie made good on the promise. That all changed when she decided to risk an angry visit from her husband's ghost and began the bidding at a measly $500,000. The crypt would ultimately sell for $4.6 million, enabling Elsie to pay off her mortgage with plenty of leftover. Hopefully, Richard's spirit cut her some slack. After all, she was acting in the best interests of her children. And now for number 7. But first, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen on eBay? Or perhaps you've sold? Let me know about it in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Number 7. Britney Spears' pregnancy test. Well, allegedly, that is. In 2005, Ottawa radio station Hot 89.9 got their hands on the test through a connection in Los Angeles. It was supposedly found when someone rummaging through the star's trash after their stay at a hotel. Now, I've got a fascination with some celebrities. Yeah, guilty as charged, but this takes memorabilia to a strange new level. To make things even more weird, the dumpster diver's treasure sold for an astounding $5,001. Who would pay such a steep price for a singer's urine? Well, none other than goldenpalace.com, of course, the same company that purchased the Virgin Mary grilled cheese. Are you sensing a pattern here? Proceeds from the auction were then donated to charity. Number 6. A latex Casey Anthony mask. Dubbed as possibly the most frightening mask on the planet, a latex mask of Casey Anthony's likeness would sell on eBay for $999,900 in 2011. The day before the auction ended, bidding had reached $24,000. The highest bidder harbored a secretive existence, using the seemingly inconspicuous handle of JNCO 6790. The auction winner changed their mind about the purchase and opted out of the transaction. Because the seller already received 81 pieces of positive feedback, the Miami New Times would describe the winner's choice not to pay as a kamikaze move. Then, the individual anonymously vocalized their opinion of prop hunter in the form of customer feedback, stating that the individual should feel ashamed for profiting from a child's death. Number 5. Living, breathing ad space. In 2005, a man named Andrew Fisher auctioned off his forehead as advertising space, offering to wear a temporary tattoo to promote the winner's service or product. Bidding started off kinda slow. In the first few days of the auction, the stakes had risen to a mere $3. But thanks to Fisher's sympathetic friends, it then went to $60 over the next several days. It would seem as though Fisher's brilliant idea was destined to flop. Then, acting as his own PR spokesperson, he wrote to a local news station hoping to spread the word about his unconventional idea. News of the auction then circulated quickly, and soon Fisher was receiving attention from national outlets. When the auction approached its initial deadline, the bids had reached $29,000, only for Fisher to discover that the winning bidder was not really serious about placing their ad on his forehead and participated in the auction mainly to sabotage it. Fisher's forehead then sold for a final price of $37,375, and for the next 30 days, he was a walking billboard for a snoring remedy called Snore Stop. The company certainly got their money's worth. Interview requests continued to flood in, and the advertisement gained widespread international exposure. Number 4. Princess Beatrice's wedding hat. Funny-looking hats are not really anything new when it comes to royal fashion, but you'll have to see it to believe it. When Prince William wed Kate Middleton in April of 2011, one guest would don a bizarre headpiece that garnered widespread mix of reactions, mainly confusion. Princess Beatrice of York has always been known for her loud fashion, but she certainly outdid herself when she attended the royal wedding wearing a hat that many people thought looked like a toilet. I can see the resemblance, do you? Hopefully, the person sitting behind her was tall enough to see over that thing. The following month, the wacky headpiece would be auctioned off on eBay, selling for an astounding $131,648 to an anonymous bidder. The astronomical proceeds were then donated to UNICEF and children in crisis. Number 3. A cornflake shaped like the state of Illinois. Because really, who doesn't want that? In March of 2008, sisters Melissa and Emily McIntyre of Virginia made a 4-figure profit by auctioning off a cornflake that bore an uncanny resemblance to the state of Illinois. Emily, who was 15 at the time, discovered the cornflake as she shoveled handfuls of the cereal into her mouth on the way to school. At the urging of their parents, the young ladies listed it on eBay. After learning that their initial listing violated eBay's food policy, the sisters had a creative solution, an auction for a coupon that was redeemable for the cornflake. And perhaps they weren't expecting a cornflake to sell for a whopping $1,350. In post-auction interviews, the sisters said they would probably put the proceeds toward a family vacation. The winning bidder was a Texas man by the name of Monty Kerr. Does that name ring a bell? Because he's also associated with GoldenPalace.com. He owns TriviaMania.com. A cornflake shaped like Illinois is pretty cool, but you're probably wondering why the world someone would pay such money for it. Well, according to Kerr, it was a perfect addition to his collection of pop culture and Americana items, which was part of a traveling museum. Number 2. Britney Spears chewed up bubblegum. And bringing Britney back again to hit us one more time, apparently selling items covered in Britney's bodily fluid was an actual trend of sorts. During the early 2000s, several people would list the singer's chewed-up bubblegum on eBay thanks to her alleged habit of spitting it out in public and during concerts. Among the sellers of the discarded wad of gum were a backstage worker from Toronto and a concert attendee in London. While most of them sold for anywhere between $5 and $100, one lucky seller walked away $14,000 richer. There wasn't really anything special about that particular wad of gum other than a concert ticket stub that came along with it as evidence of its authenticity. Several other items covered in Miss Spears' DNA have been auctioned off over the years, including tissues, cigarette butts, a used towel, and a bar of soap. Number 1. Steroids. Now, when it comes to the trafficking and sale of illegal drugs, people become impressively creative and will move their product in any way they can think of without getting caught. Naturally, the internet is a highly favored outlet for purveyors of black market goods to sell their wares, and eBay was once a popular platform for the trade. Nearly everyone gets caught, though, and in 2005, a team of investigative journalists working for MSNBC would discover that steroids were being sold on eBay. Sellers created listings that advertised literature about steroids, which was a thinly veiled way of letting drug seekers know what they were really purchasing. Well, drugs, of course. And after news of the disguised steroid sales broke, eBay Vice President Rob Chestnut admitted that the company should have taken a more careful look at the listings, stating, "That's our bad." I bet you're thinking about what you could sell on eBay for a quick buck, aren't you? Let me know all about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and while you're here, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you next time on World 5.